Duck in the video footage came across as somebody who was always in control. When he walked in, anybody who was in the house sort of perked up, and Duck was there for one reason, which was to deliver drugs and to pick up the money, most importantly.
Duck was in charge, and nobody else knew who Duck knew. Duck had the contacts in Chicago. When he made a transaction in Chicago, no one was allowed to be with him during that transaction. They'd have to wait in the car. He kept that confidential. You know, that was his ace in the hole with these guys, because he knew one of them would go out and try to make a contact with them otherwise.
When he needed to re-up or get more crack cocaine, he went into the city. Duck never drove himself. Most often his driver was Ambrose Jones, somebody who was in his very tight inner circle, somebody he trusted. It was a car that was in somebody else's name, a big black SUV. We later found out had a hidden compartment. But he went in and picked it up, brought it back to Rockford, where he mixed it and stored it at his girlfriend's house, away from where he slept or did his business. Anytime one of the drug houses that was being operated was out of drugs, whoever was working would use the Nextel phones to inform him that they needed more product. And then you'd see Duck, driven by Ambrose, go over in that Escalade to the Chestnut Street house, pick up a pack, go to the drug house, drop it off, pick up the money, and then take off.
Alright, bro. Thanks, man.
It was interesting and I guess disturbing at the same time what the customer base was. And there were people from all walks of life. People who looked like they just gotten off work at 5:30 and stopped at the drug house to get their heroin fix. People who clearly were well on their way to becoming heroin addicts. Young people, teenagers, people from all walks of life.
You know, many times your victims are not the best citizens themselves, but they're still a victim. How'd they get to this point? They're taking their life in their hands to go to a neighborhood they know nothing about, to walk into a house they know nothing about. There's guys in here with guns, to purchase a little bag of powder. What went so wrong in their lives to put them to that point? And this is a small part of a huge picture. How big is this drug problem throughout the world? It's beyond explanation. It's huge.
I had an easy life. I had my parents did the best they could with what they had. I have wonderful, loving parents. And although my home was semi-dysfunctional, my parents did everything in their power to make sure I didn't use drugs. Had I not used, would he not have sold drugs? I can't say that for sure. He had a huge influence from his father, and he wanted to be just like Daddy. And Daddy was a dope dealer. He had no respect for me. I was addicted to cocaine. He had no respect for me. But his father, on the other hand, that's who he respected. I thought I was going to die with that pipe in my hand. I really did. But I can sit here with confidence and say I'll never use cocaine again in my life. Cocaine is no longer part of who I am. Hasn't been for a long time. I botched up motherhood. I botched it. I did. Look what my son is. I remember very clearly. I had been in my addiction maybe 7 or 8 years. And Daryl said to me, Ma, I know what you're doing. And if you go down, I'm going to go crashing down with you. I didn't hear him. He was crying out to me then. I didn't hear him. I couldn't hear him because I was so deep in my addiction, I could not hear him. I wish I had heard him. I wish I had heard him.